Hi, YouTubers.
Responsibilities for their opinions and guests.
Cowboys, Texans. The math still not adding up when it comes to the election. Drug overdose deaths on the rise, all that and more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show.
Cowboys, Texans. That'll kill your erections.
That turns you in.
Bump, bump.
Morning, how are you this morning?
Morning. I don't hear anything.
Sounds like your problem. What's going on? You're there.
I don't know. It's all good. Oh, there you go.
Are you happy now?
Who's that singing?
I don't know.
Is he Canadian? Is it Perry Como?
Paul Anka, maybe?
No, not Paul Anka.
Eddie Williams, maybe.
Paul Anka was having my baby.
I don't know who that was.
Maybe like gross.
Let's do this.
Wade and Carter Weather brought to you by the fantastic friends and generally great folks at Deer and Feed. Get by there for all your farm and ranch and home needs, whether it be fertilizer, seed, feed, anything.
Ag needs.
Saddle, tag.
They got it all.
They've got it. Liquid death for all your little rodents. Reach out to Deer and Feed. Tell you the deal. 43 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today.
There, you get right in front of there. There you go.
Thank you. Heading to a high today of only 73 degrees. Oh,
That'll
there's
be
a
nice,
hot spot right there.
Yeah.
There you go. 43 to 73.
We'll take it.
Is that it? Does that sound better?
Sounds much better.
I need one of those things that like
points where you need to talk.
No. I need one of those things that like the country music guys auto-tune.
Oh.
That makes me sound like I don't want to sound like the Wolf Band.
There's no hope for you.
Go Tigers. I don't want to be that guy.
Too late.
Yeah.
How was the weekend? Good weekend.
Fantastic.
Thanks for asking.
We had a great yes. How was your weekend? Enough about me. Let's talk about you. Enough about me. What do you think about me? No, that was a great weekend. We had a very nice come and go deal that was so well attended, very, very thoughtful, great group of folks for Rena Shear, who is ending on her terms. It's a great story. 34 years she served as county tax assessor collector, and she decided to hang it up. And she and Calvin are going to travel and do some things. Of course, he's got the Kubota store.
Plural. There's a couple of them around.
Yeah, they've got several. But maybe that's where they'll travel. Just get a big truck and drive from store to store. Go in and throw up money, and whatever comes down is theirs. But they're going to have a good time, and hats off to her. I love seeing folks complete their career and say, hey, I'm done. I'm still young. I'm healthy. I'm going to retire and have a good time. So good for her. Of course, Ashley Hernandez taking over that role in January. Rena's going to work literally up until the 31st. Yes, absolutely.
Midnight 11:59 p.m. on.
Think about the fact that Rena Shear was the tax assessor collector through all of Judge Posey's tenure. I mean, he's been retired a while. Good morning, Judge Posey.
Judge Posey, first one this morning.
Checks in. Good morning, sir.
HR, Bobby Leister in. Bobby Leister. The Leisterometer says we're holding steady at 336.
Bobby's doing good. Good to see you, sir.
HR reminds folks it's foggy out there, so please be careful on the roads. It is. It made it seem a lot darker this morning.
It's a Wade and Carter fog advisory. We're really close. Today, by the way, is the winter solstice, I believe. Today is the shortest day of the year. That was it. It's dark again.
It wasn't today. It was yesterday.
Was it? No, it's today, I think. Today, December the 21st, is the winter solstice. So tonight it will get dark earlier.
And then tomorrow we start.
Yeah.
The
The
long.
days started getting longer. And then January comes, and you have to work for Joe Biden until about July. And then after that, you get the rest.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Christina Wise, good morning to you. Patrick Strauss checking in. Chris Conrad.
Quick Patrick Strauss follow-up. Patrick, I did see Mark Zapata, and he said that you gave that shirt to Chad Pedrick. I appreciate that. And he also said y'all did a great job with the fish. Hard work, but that y'all did good. Patrick went down to Baffin Bay this week.
Did some fishing.
Yeah, tore him up.
Chris Conrad, good morning. Justin Glass. Lisa Poole says she's finally able to listen and watch.
There you go.
Matt Boucher, good morning to you. Condolences to Matt as his mother passed away over the weekend.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Andy Ria Jr. checking in. Sarah Dodson, Karen Webb, Robin Morgan Nippling. The ladies are in.
There you go. Hello, Robin.
So the Cowboys pull out an exciting win.
A fun game to watch, by the way. The Red Rifle was in rare form. We kept wondering where's CeeDee Lamb? Where's Sidarius, as Lee Caballero calls it?
It's two wins in a row for the Cowboys, isn't it?
Yes, which is quite a streak when you've only won 6 the whole year.
Have they won 6 or 5 now?
I think they're now 6 and 9.
And they're still in the mix. Folks.
Yeah, they can still win the division. The Washington Football Club, I don't know if they won or not.
They did not win.
They were 6 and 7. Weren't they leading the division? If Dallas makes the playoff, is that like an Aggie thing? Do you wave a banner over that? Do you put up a sign? Made the playoffs.
You'd be the NFC East champs, wouldn't you?
Oh, good. It's like I told somebody.
Because that's the only way you're getting in out of the NFC East is you got to win that division because it's so bad. Yeah. Washington is 6 and 8. The Cowboys are 5 and 9.
Wow.
And the Giants lost last night. Yeah. That's how bad it is.
Sounds like I told somebody the other day on Twitter, the last thing I need is another UT Alamo Bowl t-shirt.
Yeah.
Texas.
Well, you're going to get one.
They're going to play Colorado. Is there anything about that game that appeals to anybody? Except for that time when the coach's son-in-law, last name began with an A, was a quarterback there that was good. They won the conference one year, but then they weren't. Colorado's always been a doormat.
They haven't been good since. I'm trying to think who the running back was that was there.
Eric Bieniemy.
That's the name I was thinking.
The guy's now an offensive coordinator in the NFL. He played an entire NFL career and is now the offensive coordinator for somebody. And they're saying he's head coach material. Eric Bieniemy. And that's how long ago Colorado mattered. So I'm looking at it and saying, well, super. And by the way, bully for Texas. They got what they deserved. They had a suck season. And they're going to play in the Alamo Bowl only because money talks. And we'll get to why that matters in a moment.
Sure. Louderback checking in. BJ Nelson, good morning.
They figure 40,000 Texas fans will show up with $75 a ticket. And that's,
And it's an easy drive for Colorado fans.
Yeah, it's $3 million. Yeah. And it's an easy drive for Colorado fans. And there are a lot of Colorado fans in Texas. So you got the Aggies are going to play Mac Brown and his North Carolina Tar Heels.
Yeah, so number 5 versus number 19, something like that.
I'll tell you what, I'm calling it right now. Mac Brown beats them. Mac Brown will look at the Aggies, and they weren't even born when he started coaching at Texas, and they'll be shrieking, scared. The old man River.
They don't have any sense of that.
You're right. The Aggies ought to win that game easily.
Rob Pupi comes in and says the enemy is the KC Chiefs offensive coordinator. Thank you, Rob.
Of course, I could be their coordinator. Hey, Patrick, go do some of that Mahomes stuff. Tell me
do your thing.
Yeah, I could coach that team to 10 wins. I don't know anything about the NFL. I could coach that team to 10 wins. Patrick, do your thing. Yeah. Throw it to that Kelsey guy. I like him. He's pretty good. So Cowboys yesterday, CeeDee Lamb, vacant, absent, not in the building for the first half, ends up with 7 receptions for 140 yards, returned a kickoff for a touchdown, had another touchdown receiving.
A heads-up play because they ended up needing that touchdown.
Yeah, kind of dumb for them to kick an onside kick towards CeeDee Lamb.
Well,
who's a normal returner.
But normally what happens, Guy
Hands
catches
team.
it, falls down, and you take the field possession, right?
But not
Or the field
Sedarius.
position. But no, CD decides there's an opening and I'm going to go. And the kicker was just does his little lollygag thing. And
yes,
I mean, if the kicker's in position, at least CD Lamb's probably run out of bounds at around the 30.
Sarah Ferguson could have run over there and put a hip on it.
Instead, he takes it to the house. Pollard runs a 40-yard touchdown late.
Hey, Randy,
Nice
what's his
touchdown.
first name? I want to say Randy. I don't think that's right.
No.
Randy Pollard's a friend of ours.
Yeah, no.
But I'm going to tell you something. That Pollard kid, number 20, from Memphis. He's from Memphis. Makes me not miss Ezekiel Elliott. He's a much more exciting runner than Zeke. He doesn't do the freaky things where, like, Elliott will lower his shoulder, pick up a linebacker, and carry him 8 yards, and you're like, yeah, that's my guy from
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard is a stud, people. There's a dozen teams in the NFL that he would be their feature back. I'm telling you.
But that touchdown that he scored late that helped cement the win does not happen if the 49ers defense tries to wrap him up instead of blow him up with a big hit to knock him off his feet. You've got a safety coming in, and he puts his head down, and he kind of misses. He might have caught Pollard on the arm, but if he's actually wrapping him up, Pollard stopped. It's a first down, but he's not scampering 40 yards the rest of the way to the end zone.
Robert Brown says, good morning from Cushing, Oklahoma. My mother-in-law says, good morning. It's Christmas week. Thanks, Marty.
Now, Sarles checking in.
It's that time of the year.
Richard King's checking in from Oklahoma.
Wonderful time of the year. Good deal. Time to get out to the mall. Get your little walk, get your steps in. That'll be you, Ash. That'll be you. Morning. Sorry. Excuse me.
Texans lost to the Colts 27-20. That was an exciting game. That was the game I had to watch because the Cowboys, what is up with the NFL? NFC games used to be on Fox. AFC games used to be on CBS.
They're mixing it up. It's a COVID deal.
Maybe it is. But yesterday, the Cowboys game was on CBS, and our local CBS affiliate aired the Texans game. And we didn't get I didn't get any of the Cowboys game till the very end, after the local CBS affiliate flipped to the Miami game for the end of that one, which was a blowout. Then they threw it over to the Cowboys game for the final 4 minutes.
You want to know how much of a Cowboys fan Lee is at Veracruz?
Huh.
So you watching the game, and like Troy and alongside the Hall of Famer will be Joe Buck. And Joe will say something to Troy. So, well, the Cowboys defense just isn't very good. And Lee will say, shut up, Troy. He screams at the television.
Except they didn't do the game yesterday.
I know. And those two were like two nobodies did the game yesterday. It was actually pretty refreshing.
That's how far down the Cowboys have fallen.
Oh, yeah.
They're not even getting top billing on a Saturday or Sunday noon game.
But I told Lee, there was a time you would have mortgaged your house to bid on a silent auction just to scrub Troy Aikman's back after a game. And now you're just going, shut up, Troy. True Cowboy fans at the Caballero house.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Look at that. Time's flying.
Today's a great day to get to Veracruz.
576-6015. You'd like to call ahead, place an order?
Absolutely. I had the fajita taco salad last week. Thought about you because I get the serranos on it.
I know you do.
And when you eat those jalapenos and your little Russian forehead starts to sweat, you look like you were being interrogated on pentothal.
I was.
Right?
Takes me back.
Fantastic. The lunch today will be special. After a Cowboys win, if you walk in and say, give me the Wade and Carter special, give me the Wade and Carter discount, they like that at Veracruz. Won't do anything for you.
Like it does everywhere else. Absolutely means nothing.
They like it.
Yeah.
They like it when you do that. I think you might get a better deal on a brand new Escalade at Atzenhofer if you showed up and said, Wade and Carter sent me. Since 1926, that's Victoria's dealership. Pretty interesting. I mean, that's through multiple generations. Ed Atzenhofer had a vision.
Multiple generations with the same family.
Same family, absolutely.
Since day one.
Fantastic business. Chevy, Cadillac, Mazda, Mitsubishi, that's their new car brands. But they sell all types of makes and models. Sedans, pickups,
Coupes.
SUVs, Corvettes. There's
Coupe de
several
Villas.
pre-owned Corvettes over there. Paint and body shop. They service all makes. Get over there. Just go over and spend a few minutes. You can drive through. The nice thing is, if you need assistance, it's almost like they're intuitive. You get out and start looking at cars. They don't bother you. But when you need somebody, they're there.
They're there.
The That's an Offer Dealership is Victoria's home for new cars. The VCS companies, Rocket Oilfield Services, and the only local and authorized AT&T retailer, part of the Hartman Communication
Our
Empire.
banner sponsor.
That is our banner sponsor. We're quite proud of our affiliation with the Hartman family, and let you know that whether you need, I drove through your automatic gate the other night, and it made me proud. It's something that we chatted up. Tell me, they're on Kerr Boulevard?
They are on Kerr Boulevard. They
Just
can
inside
handle
the
all
new
your
Bob
communication needs.
Absolutely. And then lastly, for this segment, how about Chestnut Furniture? 100 years in downtown Victoria.
116 West Swan Lynn. They've been there for 70. They're not going anywhere, folks. They'll be there tomorrow. They'll be there today. If you would like to get new furniture in time for Christmas,
Oh, they'll deliver it.
go to
Christmas.
Chesnick's today. You'll get 50% off, and they'll probably deliver it today too.
Yep. Fantastic. 50% off. They've got best recliners. Get by, check them out. You'll love it.
Yep.
Hey, Ash, really, we just listed 4 or 5 sponsors, just the backbone of this community. Just awesome to have those types of sponsors. Folks, if you're not supporting our sponsors, you're probably paying too much and not getting the quality you deserve. True story.
True story.
I say it I have bought stuff from every one of these people. And some of them I still owe money to, so please use them.
Tom Price is in. Good morning.
Good morning, Tom.
College football playoff. Alabama. Check.
Alabama,
Clemson.
no-brainer.
Check.
Clemson, no-brainer.
Ohio State. Check. Notre Dame. Check.
Yeah. So here's my thought, quick thought. We haven't talked about this, so I'm just going to drop it on you. I get that Ohio State only played 6 games. And I get that they were less than dominating over a Northwestern team that had also played like 10 games. But you would destroy the FBS system completely. FCS.
FBS.
The FBS
So the
system.
college football playoff.
Yeah, that's what you would destroy. The college football playoff system completely if the Big Ten champion wasn't in the playoff.
Although there's 5 of the Power 5 conferences. Somebody's on the outside. This year
The
it was,
ACC is
well, this year was the
represented by
Pac-12 because the
Clemson.
Pac-12
The Pac-12 sucks.
didn't play enough games.
Yeah.
4, maybe.
They're terrible anyway. It's worse football. I don't know. The Big 12 might be worse. Literally. Might be. Top to bottom, Big 12 might be worse.
Well,
But-
I think there's parity. That's the difference.
Well, yeah, but parity of mediocrity. Oklahoma has won 6 straight Big 12 conference championships and has nothing to show for it. Every time they go to the playoff, they get smoked.
Yeah, they get smoked.
They went and played LSU last year and got smoked.
But I
So
know
the Big 12's got a bag of nothing. I mean, the champion of the Big 10, that's like, I mean, you're talking about old school, old programs. And Ohio State, it's not like the champion was Northwestern
true.
or Indiana. The champion is Ohio State. You've almost got to put them, and I'm not trying to, don't get me wrong, I'm not being a homer here. It's as if Texas won the Big 12. You've got to put them in the playoff because they're Texans. If Ohio State wins the Big 10, they've got to be in the playoffs. So we'll let that one go. Okay? The next level is Notre Dame, who joined the ACC for football only this year due to COVID. And once again, they're the odd man out. They're 10-1. They get beat by Clemson handily by 24 in their championship game. But they're 10-1, and there's no getting around the fact that they're Notre Dame. They're Notre Dame. And to lead to the next part of it, they're Notre Dame and Texas A&M isn't. Any way you want to look at it, I think A&M probably did get kind of tooled over a little bit on this one.
Well,
I'm not convinced that A&M could beat Notre Dame.
I don't know.
I'm not convinced of
But
that.
here's why I think so. I've sat and listened at panels where they talk to the college football, and they want the 4 best teams at the time.
That would have to be
Right?
A&M to me. It would.
And I've watched the last 3 weeks of football. In my opinion, A&M has played better football over the last 3 or 4 weeks than Notre Dame has.
I agree.
Even this week, A&M might have started a little slow against Tennessee, but they turned it on in the second half, won that game going away.
So let me ask you
Notre
this.
Dame was never in their game this week.
What if A&M would have come out and just blistered Tennessee 56-7? Does that push them over the top?
I think it
I
might.
think it does too.
Yeah.
So why did it seem to me that for a long portion of the game, A&M was trying to establish the run? Why weren't they just pouring the coal to Tennessee? I did not see that. And I'll tell you part of why I think so. I think that Jimbo Fisher believes that he's Jimbo Fisher. I think Jimbo Fisher thought, it's my third season. I'm going to win this game. And we're going to get the bid because I'm Jimbo Fisher. And I don't think that the glow is on Jimbo the way that he thinks it is.
Well, that, and you've got a quarterback who, if he puts the ball in the air, it could lead to problems.
Yeah, it
Let's
can.
be honest.
Yeah, they're saying he's
So-
very draftable, but I don't know. Maybe he's going to play safety.
Maybe move him to receiver.
Well, I don't.
So I think that might have been part of it early on, is you don't want mistakes to happen early and Tennessee get momentum. All of a sudden you're down 14-0
Right.
because of a couple interceptions, and now you're scrambling.
Absolutely.
That might have been it to me.
There's Mark Zapata checking in. We talked about you and Patrick Strauss a few minutes ago, but it was great to hear Mark.
Yeah, he did a good job.
He did a
Great job.
one-man band deal over there with Farina Shears. Yeah. It was fantastic. He has a beautiful voice.
Beautiful voice, and he's so good you hardly notice that he's stomping the foot to get the bass drum and the cross cymbal together.
Yeah, he looks like that little monkey.
And when he transitions to the kazoo, it's just amazing.
He's got it. It's like Billy Joel. Yeah, he's got it all. Well,
Egan Barthel's checking in. Good morning, sir.
I do. I personally, my kids are Aggies, and Kyle's there now, and he objectively said, "Yeah, I think the Aggies kind of got tooled on this one
a little bit." But here's
Notre
what
Dame, man.
That's what I think broke it down. Notre Dame, Alabama.
And by the way, it's all moot because Alabama's going to beat anybody you put in their way.
And Clemson's probably going to beat Ohio State. We're going to see Alabama.
Clemson's going to smoke Ohio State.
We already saw Texas A&M and Alabama earlier this year.
And they got beat by 28. And then you throw in something that nobody wants to talk about, so I will. The Aggies' cumulative against record is a bunch of losers. They're a bunch of losers. Tell me I'm wrong. The record, watch Mr. Statistics. What was the record of the teams that the Aggies played besides,
non-ranked conference opponents?
Yes.
Combined record?
Yes. That's
20 and 47.
20 and 47.
Notre Dame's combined opponent record, not ranked, 26 and 47.
So they both played, they're
a bunch
both
of dogs.
Equally mediocre. Oh, here's a call. This is probably going to be JP Hull. Let's see what happens here. Oops. Good morning, Wade and Carter. Don't blow the vibe here. What's up? It's BJ. What's up?
How are you, BJ?
We're ready.
We're ready. Nice.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
And thank you for sharing that, BJ. Number one, thank you for what y'all do on so many levels so often. But also, thank you for sharing that once again, even in a tough time, when restaurants are struggling, people are just trying
to make ends
meet. Uncle Mutz is still doing what Uncle Mutz does, and that's give back to our community. I can't thank you enough for calling in and sharing that. So that'll lead us to There's no doubt. It's the best iced tea in town, and they're just I tell people all the time. I asked Jonathan, I said, how do you make this iced tea so good? He goes, you can't believe how long it takes us. You ever go somewhere and get the iced tea out of the little deal and you find like that slimy little leaf or flake? What that is just built up iced tea funk. And and they just don't have that at Uncle Mutt's. So thank you for that call. Hey, just keep listening. We're going to talk good about white trash in a minute.
It is another great
one. The gift with a bow.
The gift that keeps on taking.
I like that. You can use that. We don't copyright anything besides you're a sponsor of value. You do what you want to do with it. Thanks a lot, BJ. Have a great day. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, BJ.
Bye-bye. Torn Bell's got to take exception. Like, Torn Bell says Clemson will win it all. I like Trevor Lawrence. I'll get to how bad his fate was sealed yesterday, but I don't think anybody. I think Alabama's just too quick, too quick. And Najee Harris, they're just too quick, man.
I don't know. I think Trevor Lawrence.
You're a racist. He's a white quarterback. You're a racist. You're a man of privilege.
He's going to be drafted. I think he might just take it up a notch.
He might take it up somewhere else, getting drafted by Carolina. Let me tell you that. That's his problem. Is the Jets?
You don't think the Jets would take him? The Jets go and win, and they don't solidify their number one draft pick.
Who does that? The Jets steal victory from the jaws of defeat that would have allowed them to draft Trevor Lawrence, and then they're down there doing like this dance, like you're 1-10, and they're doing this little get down rodeo dance
like they've won it.
And I'm like, that's like Texas going, yeah, get your Alamo Bowl shirt, come on. Unbelievable.
Do you draft Trevor Lawrence if you're the Jets when Sam Darnold's sitting there and he's been your guy even though he can't stay healthy?
Well,
is that a product of Sam Darnold, or is that a product of the Jets being so bad that their offensive line can't protect the quarterback? And if I'm Trevor Lawrence, when I saw the Jets win yesterday, I'm going, yes.
Jets, Jets. You and I did talk about how the great quarterbacks, the ones that we like Steve Young, played behind Joe Montana. Aaron Rodgers played behind Brett Favre. Tom Brady played behind Drew Bledsoe.
Brett Favre played behind the Magic Man.
Right.
Don Majeski, whatever the heck his name was.
But you look at it, and it's very difficult. I mean, I got these people who are down on Baker Mayfield. I'm like, dude, do you know how bad they've been and for how long they've been bad?
They win 10 games for, I think, just the first time, I think, since Cleveland was reborn.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Yes, Christopher, your comment is I think Jacksonville is now leading the streak. Absolutely. Jacksonville is the team that will have the draft pick.
Yeah, it's not good for my boy Gardner Minshew.
But I mean, Trevor Lawrence is a kid of destiny. I think he's better than Joe Burrow. And don't forget now, Joe Burrow was a fourth-year player and a senior, right? He wouldn't leave after his junior year. I think Burrow was a senior.
Yeah, I think he was.
Well, Lawrence is only a junior now.
Yeah.
So, he's going to be good. It would be great if he could come out. I tell you what would be good for Trevor Lawrence. Come out, get with the Cowboys, and watch the Red Rifle for a year or two, and then go in and play for Dallas.
I think you got that Wensky kid who's not going to be too happy in Philadelphia. Might be your goat. Well, you're not going to. The only way the Cowboys would get him if the Eagles cut him loose.
Right, because they're not going to trade him in the
division
conference. No. What do you think about? Is Prescott making any headway from what you've heard, yet or nay? I haven't
heard anything on that one. Been pretty quiet.
I want him to come back. I still think he should have signed for $100 million. I bet you he wishes he would have too. $100 million.
I think Jerry Jones is going to feel the need to. Andy Dalton's and don't get me wrong. Andy Dalton he's not there to be a starter again.
No, he's just there to mentor.
He's probably solidified his backup role, and probably better than $1 million payday.
$7 million they paid him. That's what Lee told me yesterday.
I thought they got him for less than that.
But Lee said they must have given him a contract extension or something. $7 million.
Around, so.
Insult me, please. Write me a check for $7 million.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Please. Please. I'm begging you to insult me.
I feel slighted. I'm going to hold out. I want 10. Crack. There goes my leg, and I'm back in Dallas.
If your wheel's no longer going, get on record service.
Alan's Record Service, 578-6300. That's your go-to, tow-to. Alan will get you where you need to be. He'll take care of your vehicle. He'll secure the scene. He'll make sure you and your family are safe. Ladies, go into your phone, open a contact, and put AAAALLANS, Alan's Record Service.
I mean, to be honest, you don't even have to finish the name. You just put it in there, record service, and then because as soon as they answer the phone, Alan's Record Service,
That's
you know
right.
who you're calling.
Even they now say Alan's Record Service when you call them. They used to go, Alan's can I help you? Alan's can I help you? Now they go, Alan's Record Service. Totally different vibe out there now since they have the Wade and Carter cheerleader section.
578-6300, the only number you'll ever need.
White Trash Services, you heard from BJ Nelson a while ago, right in the middle of a great dissertation on sports. BJ calls in to talk barbecue.
550-1826, the number to call. Give him a call for all your trash collection needs. And as BJ said, prepay somebody's trash collection, the gift that keeps on taking.
That's a beautiful idea. It's just a great idea. Wake up, there's a little dumpster out there in your front yard with a bow on it. It's classic. You got friends that buy a new place out in the county. That's a great gift to give them.
Victoria County, 5 contiguous counties.
Rockport,
Holiday Beach,
Lake Tahoe, Las Vegas, Palm Desert.
Orlando.
Yeah, right.
They're expanding.
They go everywhere. College Station.
Speaking of expanding, Razor IT Solutions can help you expand your online
That's
presence.
the best one you've ever done.
I think
That's
it might
the
be.
best. Let's do that again. Speaking of expanding,
Razor IT Solutions can help you expand your internet presence.
I feel like when my puppy goes to the door and scratches. You've done so well there.
Now, if you just get them to stop scratching the door and wrecking the door, maybe
That
ring that little bell that you have.
Classic segue to point out that Razor IT Solutions can help you collect funds on the internet, can help your website interface with your QuickBooks so that when somebody hits the pay button and you get paid, it shows up in your QuickBooks as an account receivable. How good is that? JP Hall and his team will help you. Take your laptop, take your woes, and go see JP. And he'll put you, he's got a huge screen in his office. He can bring it up and you can see, you'll just be fascinated looking at your website on a 50-inch television. It's cool. JP can help you out. He can show you, well, this is busy. And most people look here first, and this should be more navigable. And it's really cool. I've sat in on several of his meetings, and it's just phenomenal the way that he explains to you that we can do this better. Don't worry about it. We can fix it. And we've got clients.
He explains it to you.
Sponsors that have used him. BJ Nelson's used him. They've used him, I think, some at BCS. Reach out to JP Hall.
We're saying the praises of Uncle Mutz already this morning.
Absolutely. Fantastic. What a great group of people. And not at all surprised that they are giving back.
Craig Simpson checking in, says Christmas is all about expanding the waistline.
No kidding.
No kidding, sir. Yeah, so imagine that. There's a new coronavirus strain.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's what they found out. So we got the virus or the vaccination.
Yep. Now you got to get another one.
Now you have to get another one or it's not going to work.
By the way, the flu epidemic, the normal every year flu epidemic, that's just not happening. There's no flu this year. Did y'all know that? Think about it. There's no flu.
Well, and I can give you some reasons for that. People are wearing masks, which have proven to be effective against
You don't believe that crap. You said that without even smiling.
And flu vaccinations are up.
You don't believe it. So are heroin overdoses. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Well, all overdose deaths are up. 81,000 in the last year that they count. I mean, that's an increase of nearly or just over 11,000 from the previous year, which hit an all-time high, but had slowed to the point that it was about 300 more than the previous year.
Right. But now, I think a lot of folks are depressed. I think there's a lot of
they are testing for the flu, Christina. They're just not finding any.
There's folks that have drug addiction issues who are taking it to the next level. I mean, most, they're self-medicating and now they're over-medicating.
Yeah. And an interesting report yesterday, OD deaths in San Francisco, more overdose deaths in San Francisco this year than COVID deaths. Like 2 times as many. And it's not staggering numbers, 300, I think, plus overdose deaths, or no, more than that. I think like 2 a day in San Francisco. And less than one every second day of COVID deaths in San Francisco is how the numbers 600 to about 170 something. So
you see, Kathleen Loninger says, hey, masks have not been proven to impact the spread. I think the case can be made that if you've got COVID, say you're positive and you're wearing a mask and you're just breathing it and breathing it and breathing it through your stupid mask, why couldn't you get rid of the mask, get outside, and breathe fresh air and expel and flush your system out? I mean, I think it just makes sense to focus on an intake of fresh air. Breathing your own exhaust is not the way God intended it to be, or there'd be a flap over your face. Deep thoughts by Brent. Right? Look like a skirt blowing up.
Fresh air to wash hands, unless you're in Calgary where the police will come and arrest you
when you
hockey on an outdoor rink.
You snore at night, it sounds like a whoopee cushion.
Taking a CPAP.
Right. Oh, goodness. You ready for Christmas?
So, yeah, I am. Are you?
I think so. Dawn tells me I am. We did some shopping. Christmas is expensive.
BJ Nelson, just tell the listeners about the kid that got arrested in Canada for playing hockey outside. This is my hometown of Calgary. We're so proud of the CP of the Calgary Police Service.
Did the Mounties show up?
No, they didn't call in the Mounties.
Sorry.
Sergeant Preston of the Yukon was not called in.
What exactly happened? I haven't heard this story. You must have been. Give me like an overview.
Playing hockey at an outdoor hockey rink. Supposedly it was just him and his brother. Then more people showed up, and all of a sudden you had too many people in that rink, and the police showed up and tried to move them along. And they said, "Oh, we're here first. We're staying." And
that right there. Stop right there. There's where you get in trouble, right there. See? Do you agree? Nope, I was here first. I'm staying. Oh, why don't you just go on home like the officer told you to? There's your problem. That'll get you covered.
Well, and this story probably would have gone nowhere except for the guy that got arrested. His brother was a #1 draft pick, or a first-round draft pick in the NHL.
This is like Eli Manning getting arrested for throwing a football.
No, this is like Johnny Manning getting arrested. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, while Peyton's in Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean, this, But it's funny how they paint the story. Oh, and some of the comments, oh, you've ruined this kid's future. He's 21 years old. He's never played higher than junior A tier 2. He's not going anywhere, folks, in hockey. His career hasn't been ruined.
My understanding is he failed to ID for his citation. Look at HR comes in with the
Yeah, he did that too. But
Law Enforcement Minute brought to you by Harris. Here is where the child erred. He didn't produce.
But basically, the problem I have with the police were called because somebody got mad that somebody else was playing hockey outside and they didn't think they should be doing that.
Yeah. People minding other people's business. You're going to see more and more of that in the future.
Yeah. You're sitting in your living room window across the street. How is it impacting you? They're not coming over, knocking on your door, and then breathing their COVID air all over you.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's just.
But they could be creating a COVID hotspot, like a mushroom cloud of COVID right there on that rink.
You know what?
Do you see?
I'm not buying it, and here's why. There have been no proven transmission of COVID-related cases from athletic activity in that sort of situation.
I agree.
Football games, baseball games, hockey games, they haven't found any transmission at all.
I agree. Did you see where Joe Biden yesterday on Twitter said 1 month till we can start to heal? Are we just going to have a feel-good administration? Now they're saying that this Russian hack of America's computers is very, very real. It's very, very vast. And they're saying that Biden is already talking about major sanctions and that Russia's going to have hell to pay because of this. What do you think Joe Biden's really going to do? Can you imagine Vlad Putin looking at Joe Biden?
Nothing. Well, he doesn't care about
off.
Russia. Russia only gave his kid a few $1 million.
Right.
China's the one he cares about because his kid got $1.5 billion from China, which leads me to an interesting story I saw over the weekend. Apparently, the transition team, the Trump administration had some suspicions. And I haven't been able to find, the mainstream media is not touching this one. So they wanted to test their suspicions. So they give the Biden transition team some intel, made up, completely fake, but they wanted to test something out. 24 hours later, this piece of intel ends up in the CIA and National Defense chatter
Picked up
from China.
Really? Which lets you know that somewhere in Biden there's a leak.
Well, and let's be fair here. There's two parties in there. Maybe it's another insider from the Trump administration because you know how that's been happening, trying to sabotage Trump on his way out, more so than they already have.
Right. Or
somebody on the Biden team is leaking to the Chinese Communist Party. So apparently they're going to stop having any sort of intel briefings with the Biden transition team at this point.
If you go back and look, whether we like it or don't like him or whatever, nobody has faced more attacks, whether he deserved them or not. Nobody has faced more attacks than Donald Trump. When you go back and he had Obama holdovers on his staff that he tried to keep that were leaking data out of the White House, and then you just start going down the list. What did Kathleen say there?
Sorry, guys, haven't proven even one case that has been transmitted. They hypothesized and treated as fact, which it's not.
There you go. So she's agreeing with what you said a while ago about masks.
I guess.
Or she's having a conversation with someone else, or she's just starting her own conversation.
Which could be the case.
All of which is perfectly okay here at Wade Park.
We won't silence your speech.
There you go. Tell you what, you got stuff to ship. You got stuff that needs to be there. Absolutely, positively has to be there in this week. Go to the UPS store. Go by and see Andy Rhea Jr. at the North store, or people we don't know at the South store. But they will help you ship whatever you need via UPS.
Or U.S. Postal Service. They can do that as well.
They can do that as well.
And I think today is the last day.
Where you can guarantee.
With USPS, it'll get there by Christmas. UPS, you got overnight delivery. They can get it there.
Sure. And you'll drive
domestic delivery only. No, international delivery may not.
And you'll drive it and give them a cupcake.
So get over to the UPS stores. 2 locations to serve you best.
And dads, it's not too late to buy mom some new blinds. Plantation shutters, blinds, level door, all the great brands. They've got them.
They do.
They'll work with you. They'll come out and give you a free, gratis estimate.
Included
installation. That's the key.
That is the key. They're not just showing up.
You get your new Ryobi
at your door, and then you've got
your new Ryobi cordless, and your blinds are like a little bit crooked. You don't know what you're doing. Let them do it. It's included in the quote. USA Concrete Coatings, Charlie Garcia and his team. Charlie Garcia, folks, he advertises on the Cowboy games. He advertises here for you.
578 home, the number to call.
They'll come out. They'll clean, seal, fill the cracks, completely transform your garage floor into a surface that you'll be proud of. Polyurethane, stronger than epoxy. 4 times stronger.
More durable, won't crack, won't peel, won't fade.
Antimicrobial.
Resistant.
Antibacterial.
Yeah. 5-second rule doesn't exist on this floor.
No, just get down there and eat it. It's not going to hurt anything. No. You drop that Eclair. It's perfectly good Eclair. It's still in the toilet.
Or Eclair.
Right. It's not an Eclair.
It's not an Eclair.
It's not a pecan either. It's pecan.
It's a pecan Eclair.
We digress. Wind services. Folks, now's a great time to get a generator. It's always generator season. Not to mention battery backup for your solar panels. Maybe you just need a new wall plug. Call Went Services. They'll come out, give you an estimate. They'll come out, they'll do what they did for Ash. They went out and said, well, I like what you're doing. I know you need a plug here, but if you thought about doing this, this, and this, then we can combine that and put it all in one breaker, and we'll upgrade that breaker, and now you don't have to worry about it ever again. And he said, you know what? I'm in on the breaker one
Actually,
time.
and here's the thing. It was all still within the quote, the cost of the quote they had given me.
Yeah.
It
they
just
did
made
it right.
sense, and it made, because my idea I thought was a good one. And then they came back and said, well, you know, if you thought about this and not doing this, but doing this instead. And yep, it's made way more sense than I ever would have thought. So
Steve Tyler, great point. We'll get to that in a second. Gray Barn Design, the Gray Barn. Reach out to Cheryl, 920-6803. I've seen her work, folks. It's just, the way I describe it, the word for me is subtle. It's, you don't walk in, you're not just overpowered with a bunch of junk, but the place just looks right. She's just got a fantastic eye.
She really does.
And
except when it came to me.
Yeah, well, she had a benevolent eye when it came to you. She looked at you and you're a mutt.
That guy needs some help.
You're a mutt. She brought you. There's a Hall of Famer strolling in a little bit earlier on Monday. What is that?
Morning, brother. Starting the week, right?
Man, I didn't know Geritol had caffeine. 920-6803. Reach out to Cheryl, folks. I need some little laugh buds or something. It's a Monday. You got to get me going here. Come on, work with me. Work with me, people. Placate me. Hey, OB, hope you're doing great, buddy.
Steve Tyler says, "Is it a leak? It's a design. If it's a design spillway, do they leak to the CCP? Do they work for the Chinese Communist Party? Are they the Chinese Communist Party?"
Right.
All very good questions, Steve Tyler.
Right, Steve Tyler, you weren't listening last week. I had Chief Ash and I had Chief Robert Arredondo on here, our new police chief, who's just a fine gentleman. I tell you what, Victoria can be proud of the direction. He's going to pick up the baton of J.J. Craig and just take this department to the next level. And I made the analogy. I said, Chief, where do you fall in law enforcement? Where do you fall with prosecution as a deterrent? And I made reference to you, Steve Tyler. I said, we had a DA who, if you were caught chewing gum while you jaywalked, would take you to the basement and beat you with a rubber hose.
Filled with sand. Yes.
And then I compared that to our current DA, who I said, and if you get that 10th DWI, she's going to make you go to Sunday school. And the chief said, you know what? Help me paraphrase. That's what he said. He said, we're going to uphold the law.
Yep.
We're going to arrest people that need to be arrested. And
we're going to present cases.
And the courts are going to do what the courts are going to do. But I found it very funny. I did run into our DA, who we adore, Constance Philly Johnson, this weekend. And she said, I heard that you were talking trash about me on your show. And then she told me Merry Christmas and gave me a hug, so that was nice. I saw Jeannie Morrison this weekend and told Jeannie that when we move, yeah, I saw my dear friend, close personal friend, Jeannie Morrison this weekend, our state rep, and told her that when we move over to our new digs at Lorette Tower, she was going to have a hard time dodging us, and we'll just kidnap her.
Just down the hall.
She goes, I've been on the show. I said, you came in one morning and said, get out and vote 2 years ago. Yeah, come on. We got to get her on the show, pick her brain. I think Jeannie Morrison ought to write a book about Texas politics. She's been so active for so long and exhibited such integrity. I think that Jeannie Morrison would be a great person to write a book about all the craziness that really goes on in Austin. Because it's
I don't know that she's the type that would tell all. No.
Probably not. She's got the stories.
Oh, I'm sure.
I bet she does.
You can't handle the truth. Right? That's what comes to mind.
Tammy McElroy Williams says our DA has class. We agree.
NHL announcing a shortened 56-game season will begin January 13th.
Because of COVID or what? Yeah. Why can't they just start on January 2nd and play 60 games?
No, they haven't. They got to have a little bit of training camp.
How many do they usually play?
82.
Well,
they don't want this one to drag on like this last season did. They want this one over because come the fall and everything will be back to normal.
So essentially,
not a new normal, back to normal.
Just starting the playoffs right now.
They'll play 56 games in the playoffs, and then they'll finish roughly around the time they normally would, and then they can start the season as they would next October.
You know something I thought about? The Masters is coming up again in April. That's kind of a slight to Dustin Johnson, right? He gets to be the Masters champ from like
6 months.
November to April. And it's like, of course, he may just go back out there and throw another 30 under at him.
I mean, think about it. He wins it again. He's the only champ to win it twice within the calendar year, technically, roughly. So 6 months anyway.
Is that one of your buddies there, Richard Jankowski? Oh, that's our police officer buddy, right? True.
Yeah.
Awesome. He says he hopes everybody has a great day. That's a reminder, folks. It's been foggy out there. The roads are damp. Be safe. Slow down a little bit.
James Kerr says, can't wait to see the case of the guy that was drunk and ran into the house in Quail Creek.
Yeah, that's not going to go well, right? That a gentleman passed in that incident, didn't he?
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. We usually don't give the Caleb Shaw Award in the middle of a felony.
No,
that's not a good idea.
Not at all. So all sorts of reports over the weekend that the number of the voter turnout was the highest in 100 years or so. About 62 to 66% of registered voters turned up to vote in this past election in November, right?
I'll go with that.
We're an interesting story, so I'm not going to take credit for this. But they started doing the math on this, and they went back to the numbers of registered voters slightly right before the election. So that's interesting. So I looked at a site that had the number of registered voters as of yesterday, and the numbers weren't that far off.
Hadn't changed that.
Not much, about 1 million. So it really doesn't skew it.
Were some folks allowed to register as they voted, like drive through?
Yeah, some places have same day registration. Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, if 1 million people did that, that would be huge. That probably didn't happen.
So the numbers that were cited in the story were around 212 million. And when I looked yesterday, it was about 213 million, about 1 million registered voters. You take 66% of that higher number. That's about 140.5 million voters.
Well, that just doesn't add up, does it?
Not when you look at the fact that 81 million people voted for Joe Biden, 74 million people voted for Donald Trump.
It's 155.
That's 155 million voters.
There's 15 million votes we can't account for. And
Yeah.
Biden won by 11.
That's what this story was getting at. That's what I went and verified yesterday, looking at all the data that was accessible to me. And 66 was the high end of that percentage of voter turnout. 66% of 213 million, 140.5 million people. We had 155 million votes cast for the president.
Interesting. I just don't.
Am I wrong with this? Is that? Am I the one? Because the interesting thing is, the left is going to tell me I'm the one who isn't seeing what I'm seeing.
What you have to remember is, like if I said to you, well, Joe Biden got more votes than anybody in the history, more than Bill Clinton,
Or than Barack Obama.
you would say, well, that's because a lot of folks voted against Donald Trump. And I have to counter that with saying that when Barack Obama got elected in his second term, he received fewer votes than he did in his first term. Donald Trump received, what was it, 3 million more votes than he did in his first term? Or was it 11 million more? It was a big number.
Yeah, 11 million more. I think.
11 million more than he did in his first term and still got beat.
Peter McNally says, Ash, I'm beating a dead horse. Peter?
That's true, Peter, but here's the deal I would share with you.
And here's the thing.
The outcome went the way you wanted it to, so none of this bothers you because the ends justify the means to everybody. To everybody, that's the way it is. But if this shoe was on the other foot and all this controversy was surrounding the Republicans, you would be up in arms because the very basis of our republic is at hand. The fact that there are this many questions and that there are undeniable inconsistencies.
There are people willing to swear to affidavits with the threat of perjury
that they saw
that comes along with it.
The fact that exists and that doesn't upset the left, that the very attack on the basic foundation, the integrity of our elected organization, the ability to have a fair and honest election is the foundation of this country. And the idea that the Democrats are like, well, it's over now. No, suit yourselves. Joe Biden won. That is not healthy.
But they become unglued when you start messing with electoral boundaries, right?
Does it make you think there was fraud in the mayoral election? No,
Not at all.
No, I got all the votes I got. Yeah. No, you know what? I'll tell you something. It's funny how be careful what you wish for. You're in
a better place.
I'm in a much better place. And I'll tell you that, by the way, I've got a lot more stroke, I think, than I would have had if I'd have been mayor. I mean, you hear from me every day. You don't hear from Raleigh ever. I love Raleigh McCoy, and I think that Raleigh has handled himself admirably. But God threw me a bone when he didn't force me to placate all the idiots with this COVID deal. Raleigh was good at it every day. He'd go on there and talk about, here's what we're doing, and they'd wear their mask, and they'd sit 6 feet apart. And that would have eaten, my ADD would have just gone berserk.
I think it would have.
I would have just gone berserk. So
we'd have been carrying you out of one of those in a white
Oh,
coat with the arms crossed in the front.
yeah, with a mask on. Hats off to Raleigh McCoy. And I talk to Raleigh often. I talked to Raleigh the other day. He's very excited about the state of the city. He's very excited about the way things are going. And Raleigh and I are great friends. But I know you were being funny, but no, anytime I get the chance to applaud Raleigh and say, thank you, Lord, that I did not, unanswered prayer, Garth Brooks, unanswered prayer sometimes is a very true thing. I guarantee you, Dawn Nicole is proud that I'm not mayor. She's looked at me a dozen times and goes, what if you were mayor? Good Lord.
Speaking of Garth Brooks, did you see him on the ads yesterday?
He makes Trisha Yearwood look skinny.
And young.
Yes.
I did. I was like, okay, that's Trisha Yearwood. Who's she sitting there talking?
Is that, yeah.
Who's beside her?
Is that Ryan Alzado?
I had no clue. And then I saw Trisha and Garth Christmas, and I was like, oh, that's Garth Brooks. No clue that was Garth Brooks. I haven't seen the guy. But
that's what Garth did is he married a big old gal that cooks biscuits and gravy and all that, because then she ain't on him about his diet. I married Dawn Nicole. Dawn Nicole's like, hey, lard butt, time to get back to the gym. COVID's over. I'm out of breath. Shut up. Go back to the gym. Garth Brooks is like, Trisha's like, here, have some apple pie. They just sit there and bloat up together.
Speaking of somebody else you would never recognize, Paula Dean. Always showed me a video of her the other day. Don't even recognize.
She doesn't make any money. She can't eat.
Still cooking, though.
Unbelievable the grief she took.
Yeah.
Fonseca says you can kidnap Raleigh at Loretta Towers. We're on the same floor, Jeff.
Came on the show too.
Is Raleigh? We can get him on the show, though.
Hey,
he can't come on the show because everybody on the South Side would be mad at him.
Man,
Oh, yeah, Carter's a racist. Carter's a racist. You can't go support that racist. Yet he and I talk all the time.
Yeah.
It's okay. Reality versus perception.
Tonight, Jupiter and Saturn will be closer than they've ever been in like 400 years, and the closest they will ever appear again for another 400 years. So get outside, and they've been coming closer and closer together. I mean, if you look at it, like a nickel would separate the two of them.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Right? Nuclear prolapse.
It's kind of
what that means, but it can happen.
Yeah, no, it's kind of cool. And they are bright.
Jupiter and Saturn?
Yeah.
Like on
Saturn's like really bright. Jupiter's like will be right next to it and would be bright otherwise, but Saturn.
So we've seen that T-shirt that has.
Or Jupiter's really bright.
Jupiter has the rings, right?
Saturn has the rings.
Saturn has the rings.
Jupiter's got the big red eye.
Right. Isn't it funny how every time you see a picture of Jupiter, it's that picture. It's like it's a stock picture. It's the one with the red eye. It looks like a swirl.
It's a storm.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's the only picture you ever see of Jupiter.
Well, because if you took the backside of Jupiter, nobody would recognize it.
Right?
Right.
There might be a crack back there. It's funny, though, that you'll see the T-shirt that has Saturn with the rings on it, and underneath it says Jupiter. That makes me laugh so hard. I love the one that's got like the picture of all the guys from Kiss, and underneath it says Def Leppard.
Yep.
It's just great, like a concert T-shirt misprint. It's just classic.
James Kerr says, will the combined gravity cause issues with the Suddenlink internet? You know it will.
I'm going to tell you one. I can't confirm this shit. Maybe one of you can. I was told the other day that suddenly came in and just dropped like an extra $27 on everybody's bill. I don't know. I know that
Can't speak to it. Don't know.
I have a problem with them. I think their quality is spotty. And as a customer, I can say that if VEC, who is apparently expanding their internet offering, if VEC wants to come to my house, they're welcome.
Steve Kidder says Jupiter looks totally different now. It's unrecognizable. The years have not been good
To
to Jupiter.
Yeah. Steve Kidder looks good. You know, he still looks the same age.
He does.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, wait till I push that button before.
You can't push it before?
Well, then you get the hard click and the amp.
Well, that's okay. I just want people to understand that we're here. 575-9509.
We're out of here, folks.
Oh, we are. Hey, we're out here. Stay tuned. The Hall of Famer coming in. Ralph Salazar got here. I'm telling you,